We bring it back. Stang'n or Clang'n makes its long-awaited return for Summer League analysis. We'll go with what we saw, what we liked, what we didn't like in Summer League, and will Doug apologize for Liam McNeely? Oh, boy. All right, all that today. Locked On Hornets.
You are Locked On Hornets, your daily Charlotte Hornets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
In a minute, cuz we live.
It's Locked On Hornets, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. Thanks for making us your first listen. We're free and available anywhere you get your podcast, and that includes YouTube. There's Doug Branson, everyhornetsboxscore.com. Also host Locked On NBA with Matt Moore and Hayes, and I'm Walker Mail. Listen to me, WFNZ, every weekday from 12 to 3 p.m. Real quickly, folks, I know you guys are chomping at the bit to get some Summer League analysis. We do have to take care of our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Okay, people were asking for emergency pods. We're just going to have to go with your regularly scheduled pod. I hope this will suffice, but it's here. And you know what else is here? Stang'n or Clang'n. For some reason, it's a staple of the show, like a hardcore staple, a principle even. And we went away from it for quite some time. Maybe it's because there was just too much Clang'n around here and not enough Stang'n. And we want to get back.
We couldn't fill the Stang'n bucket. We tried.
Yeah, I think last year's Summer League undefeated California Classic session might have called for some Stang'n, but if that might have been the last time we did it. It's been a long time. Anyways, it's here. No more reason to lament what happened in the past. Okay,
that's right.
It's here. We got some Stang'n stuff to talk about. Some Clang'n. Don't worry. There's some Clang'n in that bucket too. But we got Stang'n or Clang'n. Doug, the floor is yours, baby. Like let's go with the two games that they played. What you liked, what you didn't like. Perhaps we start with Kon, who played one game over the weekend. Did not play, I would say, very well in that lone game that he played in his Summer League debut. And just real quickly before you get going, I will say he did not play the second game against the Philadelphia 76ers. And the statement that was released by the team was, quote, "This was anticipated as part of his buildup following a right ankle injury that occurred during the pre-draft process." Remember, he didn't participate in the NBA draft combine at the time everybody else did because of that ankle injury, so we did know about it. He is expected to return for tonight's game against the Dallas Mavericks in the third Summer League session. So I throw all of that to you. Maybe we start with Kon. What was Stang'n? What was Clang'n?
Well, I think his offense was Clang'n. I mean, I desperately wanted him to come in and make shots, and I think someone on the subtext line, the Sicko Brigade, Sean of the Fifth Book Night Division, texted me and said, "Come on, Doug, you just had to ask for Kon to make shots. Everybody knows you don't get what you want." Yes, Sean, I understand that. That's the whole foundation that this show is built on, that I want things, and then the team and the players, they don't give them to me, and then I get to come on here and rant and entertain you for 30 minutes. That's one of the foundational ideas of this show. The other one is that I interrupt Walker Mail. So, yes, I wanted it, and he didn't deliver. There were some... We can get to some of the Stang'n things. I know you had one thing for Kon Knueppel on Stang'n. I have one thing, but Clang'n was, I just thought his, offensive shot making. To me in that first game, he looked a little nervous, even when he took his first free throw attempts. I think he went 1 of 2. He missed the first one. He's a good free throw shooter. Looked a little nervous to start. Then I thought, got into a little bit of a groove, was handsy defensively. There was some Stang'n stuff there. And just his awareness on the court and how plays are developing, I thought there was some Stang'n stuff there. But the turning point for me, and I said this, and I think people in the Every Hornets box score chat thought I was joking, but the turning point for me was when Kyle Filipowski absolutely annihilated. He had a transition attempt, looked like he had a free run to the rim and a layup, and Kyle Filipowski absolutely annihilated it and him at the same time. And I thought after that, he looked a little shook up. He played, I thought, a little tight. And then I thought the team didn't really, and this is a tough thing to say because I think it's Summer League, like, it's not. No,
but I feel this. By the way, we haven't talked. I know where you're going, and I'm glad you're pointing this out. Yeah.
You and I have been doing this long enough. I think we are simpatico on a lot of this stuff. But, like, the team didn't do a good enough job of finding him more shots to get him back into that groove, and they let him sit, whether he was on the court or not. he sat cold, and that he just spiraled. And so that's, but again, it's tough in Summer League, though, because that's not really what it's about. Like, if this were an NBA game, you would expect, I think, LaMelo or somebody to start to help him out a little bit. But in Summer League, everybody's trying to get theirs.
So let's actually allow this to take us into some Stang'n and Clang'n with Kon and just throw all that out. So I have that as a Clang'n, Doug. I have designed offense for Kon as a Clang'n. Yeah. There wasn't much there. So there's a lot that goes into this. I was actually talking about this with some of my buddies this weekend. Okay, so it's Summer League. Guys are fighting for roster spots. Not only are guys fighting for roster spots, the rookies from last year that are now sophomores are the vets on this team. They have NBA experience. They're going to get theirs in the form of KJ Simpson. A lot of offense that he's running, right? Tidjane Salaun. A lot of offense that they're running through him. It eventually happens with Liam McNeely, but Summer League is riding the hot hand. So now Liam McNeely is letting it fly. So all of those things form Kon not getting the basketball nearly as much as you maybe would want to see your 4th overall selection, as much as you would want to see him get it at the top of the key. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. So with Kon Knueppel being out there was a lot of like off-ball action, not involved in the play stuff, over on the wing, maybe over in the corner even. If he was involved, it's a swing all the way to a corner 3. And all of that to say, it does not make me feel fantastic about what I saw in the second half. But here's another thing I tweeted out, Doug. I tweeted out, if you were to tell me that Kon goes 0 of 5 in every half of basketball that he plays from here on out, would I like that? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't like him going 0 of 5. If you told me that he did basically everything else in that first half of Summer League for the rest of his basketball career, and every single half the rest of his basketball career, I said I'd be pretty good with that. Like active hands, like a great rebound. I believe, I don't know, that might have happened in the second half, but there was a great like physical rebound where he kind of rose and bodied other people to go get it. Getting to his spots, I have that as a Stang'n, Doug. I actually don't think he was limited to getting where he wanted to go generally. And what is also Clang'n for Kon, though, is he got to where he wanted to go, and the ball security at the very end of that play wasn't there. Like, there were 3 times where there was a nice drive in the second half where he got separation, made a quick decision. Yes, great stuff. Ball gets jarred loose by Walter Clayton at the last second. Just those, little pesky, smart defensive moves. So that's some Stang'n and Clang'n stuff with Kon, but it clearly wasn't great, and the dude missed every shot he took except for a wide open dunk in the first game.
Well, I mean, that's all over the tape at Duke, is Kon Knueppel using his physicality to force his way into the mid-paint and then make a play. Either kick it to the corner, get something up at the rim, float, get fouled. That's all over his tape, right? And the big question is, how would that translate to the NBA? Is he going to be able to make the adjustments necessary to keep the Walter Clayton Jr. and everybody that's better than Walter Clayton Jr., which is a lot of players, from stealing his cookies in those moments? And so that's going to be a big point of growth for him. He also, I thought, Isaiah Collier, a few possessions, lit him up. Defensively, I thought, again, good awareness. But, a lot of stuff that we knew was going to be a struggle for him defensively, I think showed up a little bit in that first game. And so, the question that I think everybody's going to want to know our opinion on is, like, are we super worried about Kon Knueppel after one single Summer League game? And to that, you would say?
And yeah, absolutely not. The thing, I pretty much, I have like a general rule on Summer League where I think it's great to put them all out there and get a good feel and let the young guys get some run. But we just have so many overwhelming amount of examples that it almost means nothing in terms of projection. Like it's very close to nothing. Like I don't. So the question, right, I guess what I'm defending in my brain is the argument that, well, then why are we doing this? Well, why we're doing this is because it's like, let the kids go play. That's why we're doing this. Let the kids get some run. By the way, it's a great networking event for media, so that's not a small part of all of this. But in terms of the players, they're trying to showcase their talent to maybe get picked up, possibly even by a G League team for somebody else, where they could be the 18th guy on the roster that get calls up after a couple of injuries. Like, there's that. But in terms of projection, Doug, there's just very, very little to take away from a lot of this. Like, I saw Draft Dummies on Twitter say Wemby's first game was actually uncomfortably bad. Zion's first game, like with Brandon. Remember, Brandon struggled a little bit, played a really nice game, and then they sat him for the rest of the summer league session because that's what you do. Like, it's just, I'm not worried.
Particularly for the players that were drafted high and have shown that they understand a lot of things at the college level, the best thing they can do in summer league is make a bunch of mistakes, because that's going to, again, clue the coaching staff. Everybody's going to understand what the points of growth are. And there will be points of growth all through Kon Knueppel's first season in the NBA. So, no, absolutely not worried. Do want to see some bounce back, though. This is adversity. And Kon Knueppel, in his 10,000 interviews that he did after he got drafted, before he got drafted, one of the things that he noted about having parents that both played high-level college basketball, that it was less about the basketball knowledge that they imparted to him and more about like, hey, kid, there are going to be some low days. There are going to be some days where you're hurt or, adversity, and you are going to have to overcome that. Okay, well, here it is. That was not the game that he wanted. And now we have to see how he's going to respond. And I think it was good. People were disappointed that he didn't play in that second game. Number one, it's good because he's got the ankle injury out of the way already.
Yeah.
But also they're taking care of him. But two, he didn't have to go back to back and try to shake that off. Let him let him clear his head, and let's see what he does tonight.
So if we end that for Kon real quickly. So Stang'n for Kon, I have Knueppel spot navigation. I think he did a nice job getting to his spots for the most part. Clang'n, Knueppel second half defense specifically, and ball security at the end of moves and drives, and designed offense for Kon. That's what I got. Stang'n or Clang'n for the 4th overall pick. You ready to go with more Stang'n? We got some happy stuff to talk about. You ready to?
We got lots of Stang'n. We got lots of Clang'n. I mean, we got a lot on tape in these two games.
All right, let's just play this game the entire show, shall we? Coming up next on the Locked On Hornets podcast.
Bees everywhere.
All right, we got to get to Liam McNeely. Okay, well, Doug apologized. I know everybody wants him to apologize. Yeah, we do. And look, we got to deal with the pain of one episode, and then we can reap the benefits of having that guy on your favorite team. So we'll get to Liam McNeely, Sion James, Ryan Kalkbrenner. How did all of the draft picks perform in the first 2 games of Summer League? We'll get to all of it coming up next, LOH. Before we do, I want to tell you this episode is brought to you by Hungry Root. Let's be honest, meal planning and grocery shopping can be overwhelming. Between busy schedules, picky eaters, and trying to eat healthy, it's a lot. That's why I love Hungry Root. They take the stress out of planning by filling your cart for you with personalized groceries and meal options based on what you like and what you need. Hungry Root uses their smart cart technology to recommend groceries, recipes, and even supplements tailored to your preferences, whether you're dairy-free, gluten-free, focused on gut health, or just trying to eat better. Hungry Root, they've got you covered. So what you can do is you can take advantage of this exclusive offer with Hungry Root for a limited time by getting 40% off your first box plus a free item in every box for life. And all you have to do is go to hungryroot.com/LockedOnNBA and use code LockedOnNBA. That's hungryroot.com/LockedOnNBA, code LockedOnNBA to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. More Locked On Hornets ahead. Lead us off, Doug. Where do you want to take us?
Well, I think the other big story is Liam McNeely. I mean, his coming out party in the first game, followed by some really nice stuff in the second game. 29th overall pick. I was obviously down on the pick. I didn't understand the pick. I think part of that was rooted in what I thought was Liam McNeely being a worse version of the guy that you took with the 4th overall pick. Like, it just fit-wise, I didn't understand it. And you traded for the pick. Right. And, there were some center options that I thought they could go ahead and sneak in before the second round opportunities to take those guys, like Kalkbrenner, like Max Reynaud, who I was high on, who ended up going like in the 40s to the Sacramento Kings, and who, by the way, looked pretty good in Summer League, just saying.
Yeah, no doubt.
But so, Liam McNeely, and also I will say, I didn't see a lot in the very little tape study I did. I didn't see a ton because that pick came out of nowhere. It wasn't one of the guys on my radar, to be very honest. And so of the little that I did, I didn't see a lot of what we saw at Summer League. And I didn't hear a lot of people talking about Liam McNeely in the way that I saw him play, the shot making, the poise, the takeover gene that he showed off, the microwave ability to like chain possessions together, his unwillingness to be screened, which is something, by the way, that is a huge point of emphasis for this coaching staff. Like, if you're looking for a way to get minutes early on as a young player, refuse to be screened. Like, get over every single screen. And that's what I saw out of Liam McNeely. I mean, I don't have a single clanging thing for him. I just want to put Liam McNeely Stang'n as the bullet here.
Right. Nothing meaningful. Like, he didn't play a perfect game. Nobody plays a perfect game. I thought, okay, if you're asking me to find something Clang'n to get it out of the way, maybe a little too shot hunty. What? It's fine. Okay. Like that's the best. There were open guys that he did not pass to, like Kon actually a couple times was wide open and decided to let it fly himself. But also that's okay when you're cooking like he was. Liam McNeely was awesome. I love what I saw in the first game, man. The pick and roll stuff. That was the most Stang'n part in terms of a surprise stanger. Okay. The pick and roll decision making, like kind of leaning into your dribbles around the midpoint, the free throw line, and then making a decision once something presents itself, whether it be a shot, a floater, a lob, a kick out. Just, okay, what? This was not in the scouting report for anybody. And you're right. It's not like I'm grinding tape. Maybe this was, and we just didn't talk about it because it's not like I saw a ton of it, right? But from people that we trust that liked the pick, Kevin Smith, who I talked to on Wes and Walker, great guy, loved Liam McNeely, thought that was an awesome steal, didn't discuss some of the things that were even on display in the first Summer League and second Summer League game. And so you're right. What I have, if we just want to specify this, McNeely pick and roll, Stang'n. The headband, I got Stang'n. Okay, maybe Clang'n, but Clang'n, but Stang'n, and I'll tell you why in a second. I got the headband Stang'n. It's because of the leadership and the comfort. My God, this guy doesn't give a damn. Just doesn't care. Doesn't care. Goes out there on the court, is as young as anybody out there on the Summer League roster. Remember, was a freshman last year at UConn, and yet his mic'd up stuff, I think it was Mark Kestisher on the call with the Summer League game, just incredible. The best mic'd up guy, and just incredible. Is so unbelievably comfortable, just as a straight up leader. Like he's the guy. There's one of those clips calling everybody to get into the huddle, saying we need to do better on this. This is what we need to get better at. Doug, what? Oh my God, McNeely, are you kidding me with the leadership stuff? Yeah, man, it looked great. It looked great.
He looks like a guy that might be a little bit annoying sometimes, but you'll ride with him because he's playing so well. But his talk is so loud, and I know that just jazzes up Charles Lee. He wants volume at practice. He wants volume in game, and it doesn't matter if it was offense, if it was defense, if it was dead ball, if it was talking to the official. This dude is loud, and he's loud because he's constantly thinking and constantly trying to figure out where he needs to be, where everybody else needs to be. Yeah, that was crazy, and it stood out in a major way, and not just because I think you could look at that first game and say, well, maybe we're just seeing this because Kon Knueppel sort of faded into the background, and I think had Kon gone 4 or 5 from 3, we'd still be sitting here talking about Liam McNeely's 22 points off the bench, 12 rebounds. His rebounding, he comes out of nowhere and grabs these rebounds. He relocates off ball like freaking Klay Thompson. Like, that's what he looks like out there to me. He's making pass reads. Like, there are just so many elements to the game where I go, okay, this is Summer League, but he is looking so comfortable out there. Like I wrote in the Every Hornets box score, is this guy already too good for Summer League? Like, he just has a level of understanding of the game that stands out, particularly on this team and with the history that we have watching rookies in Summer League. I'm like, okay, this is something I don't see very often, and that's why it stands out to me.
So to be fair, I am self-aware that I might be speaking out of both sides of my mouth. In the first segment, I discuss how there's just very little that you can project from Summer League, and then here I am very excited about what you get from Liam McNeely. But at the same time, I do think the personality is just newfound information for me. And I didn't know what his personality was like. I didn't know the type of guy he was. I didn't know that the leadership that he possessed on the court was there in that way, where he's calling for a huddle with Kalkbrenner, 23 years old, Sion James, 23 years old. You got two guys that have had NBA experience out there, and Damian Baugh and KJ Simpson. PJ Hall is an older basketball player, and yet maybe they were calling for some of that stuff too. But that was just kind of like evidence, something that I dug up that I didn't realize with all the mic'd up moments. So, yeah, I like seeing him comfortable. You like to see these guys play well. I don't know how much it projects, but he looked really good, and that's obviously a positive sign. Any finishing thoughts on McNeely, and then you can take us wherever else you want to go.
I know people are looking. I said I'm going to eat crow on this show, and I will. And I asked for recipes on every Hornets box score. Give me your best crow recipes. I said I'll go to, I'll stop at the McNeely's drive-through. I will get the crow burger with, on the Sion James seed bun with Canyons lettuce. Like, I'll do it all. Like, I'll eat the crow. But I won't apologize for anything because, as Walker said, this stuff wasn't showing up. This level of Liam McNeely was not showing up for the people that study this all year long and the study that I did. So, look, shout out to Liam McNeely. I love to be wrong when it means a player plays well. I've been too wrong too often covering this team, thinking that a guy was going to come in and dominate and didn't. So I'm thankful to be wrong in this direction.
Yeah, and honestly, look, if you want to share a little of that crow with me, I didn't dislike the pick with Liam McNeely. What I did say was that I thought he might be the most likely candidate for Greensboro out of all four. And, buddy, that doesn't look like that after the first two games. I'll tell you that right now.
No, it doesn't. Long way to go. We've got training camp there, and obviously they've stocked this, guard even into shooting guard rotation. But if he can size up and play and hang a little bit defensively at the three, all right. So, but here's the thing that I think you did, and that I didn't listen to strongly enough, which is you mentioned, hey, had the high ankle sprain. Maybe he didn't get to showcase. Maybe some of that shook him up. He didn't get to showcase everything. And look, guys drop for a lot of reasons. And so, if the Hornets are finally going to be the team that takes those opportunities, that's a great thing. And I'll be happy to be wrong about that.
To detail that a little bit more, then we can move on and finish Stang'n or Clang'n. McNeely, in an interview with us, and it's just well documented, was the ankle injury that he suffered. And if you look at the shooting percentages, he was shooting 38% from three, suffers the ankle, comes back, it goes all the way down to 31. I asked Liam McNeely, when we look at your basketball reference page and we see these percentages, and I think I said that almost verbatim, what would be your response to people worried about a 31% three-point shooting percentage and all the other inefficiencies? And he talked about the ankle injury, but that he could have just sat out and decided, you know what, I'm not going to come back until I'm absolutely ready and 100%, or I can come back and try to save a UConn season that wasn't so hot in the middle portion. And remember, Matt Norlander said that he was suffering from pneumonia for a stretch, and it was a little weird because they didn't want to share that. And then I asked Liam McNeely about that pneumonia, and he said, I'm gonna fight through anything. Like, he didn't want to talk about it, but he didn't deny it, right? So maybe just went through a lot. And that was the value pick there at 29. Jeff Peterson decided to pull the trigger. We still have Kalkbrenner. We still have Sion James. We have some other stuff.
Tidjane Salaun.
Yeah, babe. We absolutely need to get to Salaün. Coming up next on the Locked On Hornets podcast.
Bees everywhere!
Yeah, in fact, if Liam McNeely is the best story of the two, you could argue Salaün. So we need to get to Salaün and the other draft picks. That's still to come here, Locked On Hornets. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Summer sports are in full swing. And whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action, so why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. Ouch. Don't do that. If you're using FanDuel to track your favorite matchups, the app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. It's easy to use, fast to pay out, makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. So if you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and then get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. More Locked On Hornets. One more segment to go. Okay, Tidjane Salaun. Stang'n and Clang'n. Mostly Stang'n. Doug, you take the wheel here. Where do you want to drive us?
I think you could make a highlight reel and convince everyone in the world that Tidjane Salaun is the next coming of Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I think you could also take these 2 summer league games and make a low light reel and do. And I think I even saw one from somebody called DKM or something, and they put together this like low light summer league 2-game reel of Tidjane Salaun, and he looks like he has no idea what he's doing. There are 2 extremes to Tidjane Salaun that I think existed in some form last season too. I would say in this form, the side of him that is making great plays looks even greater and looks more controlled and less accidental and less like I'm bigger than you and I'm a little bit faster than you expect. And so I'm going to hit you with some of this stuff. It looks a little bit more thought out. And I thought he limited some of the Clang'n stuff that we saw in his first season and in his first summer league. I thought he limited some of that stuff. So, I think I don't think this. I know this because I pay attention to the Every Hornets box score chat and I pay attention to the social media chatter. There are people that looked at those 2 summer league games and went, Tidjane Salaun, yes, like 6-pick coming through. Let's go. I would say like, it's not that. And I also saw some people being like, this guy has no idea what he's doing and he's a total bust. I don't think it's that either. Right now it exists somewhere in between.
I'll say it felt like people were a little more excited than they were frustrated with what Salaun was showing. So if we just want to stick with the game, Stang'n, I had Salaun progress, real simple. Clang'n, I had Salaun aesthetics. It doesn't look good, even with the successful plays, Doug. That escape dribble over there, like close to the corner of the half court line and out of bounds line. Where it looks like that is a turnover and it's just a matter of when he's going to turn it over. And then he turns it into this little scoop-de-doo-dah finger roll and ends up making the bucket. How that was supposed to be a turnover. What that was supposed to be was the Jazz stealing that basketball and then converting it into a bucket on the other end. Instead, Salaun avoided all disaster and galloped his way to a made bucket. Another Stang'n thing for me with Salaun is being the leader in free throw attempts each of the last 2 games with this Hornets team. Got to the line, shot 8 free throw attempts, tied with KJ Simpson in the second game against Philly. In the first game, he had 9 free throw attempts. That was 3 more than next in line with Kon Knueppel, and there was some end of game summer league fouling there at the end for Kon, more so than it was the aggression. But it was the aggression that was getting Salaun to the foul line in both of these instances. So you love to see that. That makes sense, right? If we're looking at things that can transition to the next level, the aggression for Salaun, holding on to the basketball long enough to where maybe you don't convert at the cup because the percentages were quite bad. Maybe that fixes itself with how big and strong he is. He's clearly gotten a lot stronger. So can you hold on to the basketball and maybe not hold on to it in hopes of converting, but hold on to it long enough to get to the cup and then get fouled? That's a big deal. That's how you keep holding on to your minutes that you're granted when you're in the NBA. So there's some stuff here, man. Like it might be another year, another 2 years, but we're chipping away, and there's some progress on chopping at this wood.
Yeah, I just want to be very clear. I haven't seen anything in this summer league that makes me think Tidjane Salaun over Grant Williams, Tidjane Salaun over Miles Bridges. Like, play this guy right now, start him, he's great. Like, that's not the takeaway from summer league. It's also not he's a bust, get rid of him, trade him right now, give up on him. I think it exists somewhere in between. I would also say, Tidjane, buddy, you got to hit these free throws, man. Your movement is so weird. You're going to get fouled because people have no idea what you're doing. They're not sure if you know what you're doing, and they're going to accidentally foul you because it's like when your younger cousin comes over and plays you in a sports video game, and they've never played before, and they're just doing stuff wildly outside of the norm of what you've been playing, online and with other people that know what they're doing, and they sneak up on you, and suddenly all of a sudden they're up like 21-0 on you. You're like, wait a minute, what happened? You've never played this before. That's Tidjane's movement is a lot like that, and so you've got to hit these freebies, baby. These are you got to do the easy stuff, because until the hard stuff becomes easier, you've got to do the easy stuff. So that would be one thing.
Yeah.
And then
if you play chess with Salaun,
yes,
he brings his queen out immediately. I mean, it's just,
I don't even know how to read. I've not practiced for this. This is not what people do. Okay. So yeah, I think all in all, we're pretty clear on Tidjane. And there's some things that we could continue to see in summer league. I just think he's going to need another full season, some in Greensboro, maybe some in Charlotte towards the end of the year, depending on what the record is, and continue the season and come back the next season and see how he's improved.
But be clear, I lean it more Stang'n. Like this is progress. This is good. What we saw over the last 2 games. This is good. It's Stang'n for me. Take us away. Where else do you want to go?
I think we just go rapid fire, Stang'n or Clang'n. Let's see some stuff that I've got left on the board here.
Empty the
MJ
clip.
Walker Jr. from 3 had 18 points on 6 of 9 from 3 and was, they had a 10-point lead for most of that second game of Summer League and let the rope go at the end there, and bad inbounds play, of course, because it's the Hornets. But they hold on to beat Philadelphia 2-0. They're still in the running for their first Summer League postseason ever, I think. I don't think they've ever been. And so MJ Walker from 3 was a big part of that. Chris Gent, slob plays, got 2 in a row for Sion James. I thought Sion James was good. Like, I just thought, didn't really show up a lot in, highlights or whatever, but I just thought his playmaking and his ability to organize the offense is the thing that stood out the most for me for Sion James, which surprised me a little bit. I expected him to be a dog on defense and to hold his man, and he did that. But, his organization on offense was also a Stang'n for me. And then finally, Stang'n, Liam McNeely's mini Dirk fader that he pulled out a couple of times. You see this thing right from the elbow? Just get the one leg cocked up in the air, throwing up the mini Dirk fader.
Liam McNeely, he was feeling it. I'll start with Sion James just because you mentioned him. Yeah, I agree with everything you said in terms of the positive. The Clang'n is the shooting. The Duke boys, they didn't come out and hit shots. That's not what happened. So Sion missed all of his 3-point attempts in the first 2 games. We know about Kon's lack of shot making. That clearly is the skill that you want to see transition to the NBA. Sion's going to have to knock down shots from deep, and if he doesn't, it's going to be tough. But I am glad to play him, I should say. But I am glad that defensively, thought he did a nice job, and then offensively, you're right. I think just some playmaking here and there, and then finishing on the receiving end of some playmaking from Kon, who found him. And did Liam McNeely find him once on a lob? I think that did happen.
On a baseline cut.
So there you go. Sion finishing some playmaking ability for the other guys. So staying in the things I didn't get to, KJ Simpson, NBA experience, showed up in full force.
Great.
I'll say Hornets Twitter got this one right. I think KJ was everybody's fun, underrated answer of who are you most excited to see? Yeah, it makes sense that a dude that was a little bit older coming out of college, that had the basketball in his hands a lot at Colorado, would come in as a second-year player among rookies and then get a lot of on-ball opportunities to showcase his talents. KJ Simpson did that. And then Jaylen Sims, just a quick shout. Jaylen making some buckets the last couple of games after what he did. So Jaylen Sims fighting for a spot. One guy we haven't mentioned, and we're running out of time for this edition, so maybe we just make him a featured player in tomorrow's show. Ryan Kalkbrenner. Yeah, so
I think there was a little bit of both for him too. I think it's a Tidjane Salaun situation with maybe the meter tilted a little bit more towards the Clang'n.
So Stang'n, Kalkbrenner's size affects how opposing offenses play the game. It's one of those things where you could see even Walter Clayton, who
when
did
he can drop.
Yeah, right. In drop, Walter Clayton shot a lot of those mid-range pull-ups. And then I guess, some of the analysis was maybe you bring Kalkbrenner a little bit further up on the drop, but that's also fine. It's one freaking Summer League game. And then you bring him up to the top a little bit more. I think that's fine. The size, I think, affected some guys and how they operated in the paint. Clang'n, so that's Stang'n. Clang'n is Kalkbrenner compromising his own size at times. That also happened in this game where, you know what, buddy, I need you to not set up for a charge at 7'1", 260 in transition. I need you to just go ahead and put your hands up and then stop right at the top of the restricted area. I'm not against a Clayton or a guard. Can't set up for a charge against those guys. There are times where he rotates over and then immediately goes for the shot fake. Okay, that compromises your size as well. So the size, it's real. It affects how the game is played. We got one of those guys, and he can't coach 7'1". He compromised his own size at time, and that led to winning plays for the other team.
Yeah, look, I think of any player that played for the Hornets in Summer League so far, he has had the most, this is a new game. I'm now in I've been in middle school, now I'm in high school, and the teachers are a little tougher on me, right? They're giving me C's. I used to make A's. They're giving me C's. Welcome to the NBA. Those are the kind of moments that he had. And maybe a close second would be Kon Knueppel a little bit on that Filipowski block. But Kalkbrenner had those moments. He's going to have to improve the movement and speed. We know it's an issue, but there was a pick and roll play that he had, and I'm not sure who the ball handler was in this situation, but smoked the layup. Had an open layup, smoked it. That was a big issue for the Hornets in both of these summer league games, just missing open layups. But if Kalkbrenner rolls hard, nobody goes with him. He has a free lane, and all he has to do is go a little bit faster, roll a little bit harder, and he doesn't. And so by the time he catches the ball, there's just that instant that the defense is able to collapse, and he has to kick it out. That should have been, like, I'm not expecting him to be Mark Williams and just be like, oh, super athletic, I'm going to get up here for this jam before anybody has an opportunity to even think about getting the ball. But he's got to go a little bit harder than that. So that's my thing on Kalkbrenner. But we have to say, he got a game-winning block. You got to give it up for the Brenner block, and that's the only joke that I can think of for a Kalkbrenner block.
We love alliteration. Brenner blocks. That's what
Brenner
we're rolling
block.
with.
It makes too much sense.
It makes, alliteration is fantastic.
Has there been another joke?
Not on the blocks or anything like that. Not from Kalkbrenner blocks or anything like that. It's just been the Brenner block. That's all I can think of. Yeah.
The Brenner winner. How about the Brenner winner? How about the Brenner block winner?
Yep, that's what it was from Kalkbrenner. Kalkbrenner block. Yeah, it was good. It did some Stang'n stuff here. So, yeah, that's the overview, baby. That's Stang'n or Clang'n. We'll have plenty more to get to tomorrow. They do play another Summer League game tonight against the Dallas Mavericks, so this will be their third game. Kon Knueppel is expected to suit up. Cooper Flagg is not expected to suit up, so you won't get to see Cooper Flagg and
all
Kon
these
Knueppel.
Guys ducking, by the way. I see you, Ace Bailey, VJ Edgecombe, and now Cooper Flagg. This is absurd. Everyone ducking the Charlotte. They don't want to work out for the Charlotte Hornets. They don't want to play against the Charlotte Hornets. This is absurd. So here's my tease ahead for tomorrow, because I think we'll talk a lot about Kon Knueppel, obviously. That'll probably lead the show tomorrow. But I think the sub-headline that we need to get to, has Kalkbrenner showed us enough to be confident that he could get serious minutes? Because look at the center rotation. It's thin. It has some size, but it is thin in terms of talent. So we looked at that and said, man, if Kalkbrenner has a great summer league, this guy might even be threatening to start. We'll let him get one more game, and then we should talk about that.
Okay, Doug Branson, everyhornetsboxscore.com. Also, Locked On NBA. Make that your second listen. YouTube, wherever you get your pods. Locked On NBA with Matt Moore and Hayes. I'm Walker Mail. Listen to me, WFNZ, every weekday from 12 to 3 p.m. Have a great rest of your day. We'll be back with you tomorrow.